That was local woman-fronted independent band Atomafox with their song Stalker off their Into the Woods album. The band is comprised of Rhesa Tran, who is guitarist and vocals, Anna Marson, who is bassist and backup vocals, and Brittany Serna, who is the drummer.
Okay, so I don't know if Brittany's gonna be able to do the podcast. She just said to do it without her. Hi, I'm Rhesa. I play guitar and sing for our band.
I'm Anna. I play the bass and I do backup vocals.
And what is the name of your guys' band? And when and how did you guys first form?
Atomafox. 2015, right?
No, 2012.
Oh, 2012. Oh, 2015 is when we released the album.
We met through a rehearsal space, which I work at, called Holloway. It's in Santa Fe Springs, Holloway Productions. Rhesa and our drummer, Britt, were looking for a bassist. And so they hit up my boss and he told me about them. And then we kind of just set up like a meetup and then it kind of just unraveled from there.
Where do you guys draw inspiration from when writing your music or for some of your songs?
I guess real life experiences. I mean, we write from things we experienced. I've come to realize, like, whenever we get into songwriting and lyric wise, we're writing about things we've went through or things we can relate to.
Like she said, we get things that we relate to, and we also find things that we find fun, that we think are cool, and it kind of resonates with us.
Yeah, like we have a song of like that was inspired by Greek mythology. We have a song inspired by a video game. We have like different types of songs. One by aliens. We write about all kinds of stuff.
So let's go over the songwriting process. How do you guys start when writing a song?
So we'll usually start with guitar or bass chords. So we'll have that established first. And then, we try to get the drum beat, try to get the verse and chorus written. And then after that is when we go into like the lyrical writing. And then I think the hardest part is just putting it all together and making it flow well.
Solidifying the song, and sometimes I feel like we never finish writing a song. We can go back to one of our oldest songs and say, oh, it'd be cool if we add this into it, or we change this or tweak it. But the hardest part, it would be to put it all together. But as soon as we have like a bass or guitar riff, then we're able to take that and play with it, take it in all kinds of directions. So that's the fun part.
And how would you guys classify the genre of music that you play?
Well, we classified ourselves as eclectic rock because we have a range of different types of music, like going from punk to kind of alternative.
We use a little bit of like psychedelic guitar, and some of our songs can go from a little bit on the heavier side to kind of mellow and poppy, which is why we go with eclectic rock.
Do you guys cater to a specific audience or demographic when playing your music?
I don't think so. I think anybody who's willing to listen. I'm always in the car listening to, well, not always, I don't really listen to the radio, but on the chance that I do, I keep saying like, oh man, they don't make bands like they used to. Everything is so similar now. So I think we want to cater to see the people that want to hear something a little different, but whoever wants to listen and have fun with us, that's all we want.
Yeah, we're always trying to mix it up.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like we're just writing what we feel and what comes to us, and whoever it resonates to, I guess that's our audience.
What's the hardest part about being in a band?
I guess trying to reach a bigger audience without financial support. That is always the hardest part. I think with everything being digital now, it's easier to record, it's easier to upload everything and promote it and this and that. But unfortunately, there are algorithms and things that become so saturated within the internet. And if you don't have that financial support to go to a high-end studio or just something that makes it easier to stand out and pay for ads and even shows, when we were able to play shows, it was always hey, we got to get together and we got to find a way to transport the instruments and our equipment, and we need to buy equipment and we need to get gas. It's everything, every little detail about the financial aspect adds up really quick. Even if you're just doing it for fun, even if you're just doing it like, oh dude, like I just want to play a show because it's so fun. I love the energy, but it always entails spending, and most of the time you don't get anything in return. So I think that is possibly the number one issue, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, definitely. And especially like the larger venues like Whiskey Go Go, those kind of places, they want you to pay to play. They want to like sell tickets. You have to sell this many tickets to play this night. And it's ridiculous. It's like we shouldn't have to pay or have people pay if we just want to play shows. So we kind of like stuck to just like bars, local bars and places to play for free.
And I think even just playing bars, it's always fun. And everybody wants to play a big venue. Everybody wants to say, dude, I played the House of Blues and it was fun. And another aspect with those big venues is the more tickets you sell, the better time slot you get. We've had to pay out of pocket sometimes just to be able to play a spot or to get a spot. And that's what sucks, because at the time, it's not like we were making a whole lot of money. We literally scrapped, just put everything together. Hey, I'm just gonna cut back on this because we have to pay for this, or I'm gonna have to do something extra to be able to pay this off or for us to play the show. And I think it's really unfair. I get that there is a need to make money for the venues, but it's not like it used to be before, back in the 90s, even early 2000s, when a band that played a big venue is because they had a following and they were paid to play those venues. Now it's completely different. And even before the pandemic, a lot of venues ended up shutting down or selling just because they couldn't pull a lot of people in.
Yeah, definitely promotion is definitely a challenge. And like Anna said, standing out, because, so many people are doing music right now. So many people are in bands and just everyone's on the internet. Everyone's playing shows, trying to get out there. So that's definitely one of the difficult things about being an independent musician. You don't have a label backing you, or you don't have a promoter promoting you.
Unfortunately, it's always about the money. The more money or the more following you have, the more money you make and everybody profits. Of course, we all should have a means to live, and to be able to pay our bills. And I get that everybody should have some compensation for their work. But yeah, there's definitely a hierarchy. It's all about networking. It's the people who hey, I know this promoter, he can get us in with this person and that person or into this venue, and I can get you guys a cool deal, or I can get you guys to play for free. It's really all about who you know. That's what the industry is all about. And I think this isn't just the music industry, but it fits with every industry out there.
Yeah, definitely. Like with jobs, you could have like no experience, but if you know someone, you're getting in. So yeah, I feel like me too. I do. And I feel like a lot of labels, because we were actually signed to a label for a little bit, and I feel like they take advantage of that, because they rushed our album and pressed a deadline on us. And then after that, they did absolutely nothing for us. And we were just like, what just happened? And they were just pressing on like, oh, sales, oh, this, oh, that. We didn't get to do it the way we wanted to do our album.
We were disappointed. And we felt kind of cheated. I remember when we were in talks with the record label about signing and everything that it entailed and how they were going to help us out and making our dream come true and being able to give us a way to pay our bills with living our dream, and then we got to that point where we signed and we scheduled for the recording, and it was, hey, you have to record a certain amount. You have to record an album within a weekend, and then it'll be mixed within these many hours. And oh, guess what? You still have to pay for all this. It was definitely disappointing. It wasn't something that we imagined would have happened. And we tried to do our part. We tried to play as many shows throughout the week. And it wasn't just like a weekend thing. Like, we would play shows on Wednesdays when we had school or work the very next day, but we tried to put in the time and the work and all that. And after that, we're like, man, I just can't wait for our contract to end. That way we can do our own thing and not be rushed again, do it our way. It definitely affected the way we kind of move after that. And even if now we are taking things a little slower, but we are in no rush to be signed or put a deadline on our creativity, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the clauses in our contract with that label that I thought was hilarious was they said, oh, if you get picked up by a bigger label like Warner Brothers or Sony, we get 20% of your contract. And we're just like, what?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, we had to negotiate the contract a little bit because They were trying to do like 60-40, and we're like, no, it should be at least 70-30. And one thing that disappointed me with the label as well is like they should be, you know, helping you. Like, we haven't collected any royalties or anything. They should be helping us with, you know, oh, we're going to set it up for you and we're going to do it so you can get your royalties. And we haven't received a penny from them to this day. They didn't assist us in that at all. And I feel like that was disappointing too. Like, I think it's best to be an independent musician and, you know, instead of signing to a label that's just going to rush you and try to squeeze money out of you. And it was disappointing. Unless it's like a large, I don't know. I don't know about a big label name, but that's like smaller labels.
Well, I think there are smaller labels who will put in the work and the effort to see you succeed. As long as you as a band are doing everything you can, you're doing your job technically. But it really does suck to know that there are people out there who want to take advantage of independent artists. And again, like I said, it's always a financial struggle. But when you have complete autonomy of your creativity and your work and your music and everything, that it belongs to you and you do with it what you want, you know. So I think that's the upside of it. And if you ever want to see it flourish and bloom and all that, you do have to spend countless hours and nights and days working on this and networking and just getting out there. It's the hard work. That's the heavy lifting.
And what's the most rewarding part about being in a band, being an independent musician?
Seeing your product, like, you know, seeing other people enjoy your music, you know, and saying, oh dude, I really loved this song, it gets me through the day, or hey, I want to use this for my podcast. You know, it's really, really cool. I think definitely one of the rewarding parts of it. And then also meeting new people, meeting friends, people that are there to support you through your endeavor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely enjoy that, the part where we get to express ourselves when we're playing shows, and the people that, you know, connect with our music and they're just like, oh, I really love that song. And yeah, we've had our friends, you know, feature our music on their streams or videos they do, and just meeting. And when we did play shows, just meeting all the other musicians, it was a great experience. And we did play some pretty awesome venues. We did play the House of Blues. I think all locations. Yeah. 3 different locations we played, and it was an amazing experience. It definitely was fun.
Yeah, we have so many fun stories that I, till this day, tell them all the time. So that's definitely, it's life. It's a beautiful life experience. When you grow old and you say, well, yeah, at one point I was cool. I played in a band and I did this and I did that. You know, that's really cool. Yeah, the music industry it's got its ups and downs. Like we mentioned earlier, it caters to pretty much anybody who has the money. There is I think even when we had started the band, there was always an issue with sexism and, I mean, even racism and all these things. And I think we have been able to move forward, or at least the industry has, but it still needs a lot of work. The big corporations, big labels, everybody wants to make money off of someone who gives it their all. And it always comes down to how you market yourself. And if you're going to make it out to the big stream, or, you know, that's who gets the financial support, especially with the bigger labels. Even the smaller labels, like the label we were in, that we had a lot of potential, but we needed a little bit more help. We needed more guidance, and we weren't getting it because they weren't seeing the results that they were hoping to see, you know, once the album released. So there's just a lot of work to be done.
But don't let our experience with small labels discourage any other aspiring musicians. You know, we're just telling you our side of the story. Like Anna said, other small labels will probably give a lot more than ours did. But yeah, we definitely dealt with a lot of sexism and racism. I remember when we played at what's that pizza place?
The Piazzas.
Yeah, D Piazzas in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
I remember we were setting up, getting ready to play, and this group of guys, they looked at us and they're just like, they're gonna play? Like, oh, they're gonna suck. And then like, we're just like, what? We're like, whatever. And we played, and after, they're the ones who are like, oh my God, you guys were awesome. And it's like, what did you expect?
We did encounter that a lot, but I think it helped us to not listen to it. once we were on stage, we did our thing, and if they liked it, they did, and if they didn't, I mean, what are we gonna do? We did what we wanted to do. We had fun, and we did what we were there to do, and that was it. It's always fun. The idea of playing shows and getting together with your friends and peers and meeting other musicians and kind of creating more music and like a space where people can express themselves is always very rewarding.
Our little community.
Yeah, exactly.
Our little musician community. And that's a piece of advice for any aspiring musicians out there too. Like, don't be discouraged by any negative comments or negative feedback you get from certain people. I mean, some people are just not going to like it, and some people will. That shouldn't stop you from expressing yourself and writing your music the way you want to. Don't try to write for someone else, write for yourself.
We started working on an EP a couple years ago, finish it, and then the pandemic hit, and it's just like, but we are thinking of finishing that up and taking things a little bit slower than we did before and enjoying it more. We have grown within the last 9 years. Life gets in the way. Like I was telling Rhesa the other day, it's not that it's something that we don't love to do anymore. It's just that there's a lot going on, and we have different lives than we did when we were in our early 20s. It's just a matter of finding the time and enjoying it and not doing it because we want to accomplish a certain goal. The goal that we would like to accomplish is expressing ourselves and having fun with it. So we are working on something. We're hoping that we are able to work on more stuff and kind of get the ball rolling again, and hoping the pandemic goes away soon.
Yeah, we recorded one song for the EP. We have a couple more we need to record, but we only finished semi-writing another one, right? So we only have like 2 songs so far.
Yeah.
But the one song that we actually did record, it was
that.
Yeah, it was such a huge difference from the songs on our album because we actually took our time and we recorded it the way we wanted to. We edited it the way we wanted to. So it's a huge difference.
Do you guys have any advice to those interested in being musicians and aspiring artists?
I'm just going to speak for myself and say I hate networking. I always have. I'm not one to reach out and say like, hey, I've gotten better at it just because you kind of have to, but it's hard finding someone who wants to work with you to manage and do that part of the heavy lifting, the networking and finding shows and promoters or just different opportunities. And then we had a manager. He's a great friend of ours, but it became a little bit difficult trying to get everybody on page. He would bring an opportunity or something and would be like, that's awesome, but you know what, it actually doesn't fit with our schedule, or we just can't do it at the time. And it's difficult when you don't have someone who, even within the band, if someone who isn't like an extrovert, and wants to like be out there and reach out.
Yeah, I agree with you. Networking is definitely a big part of it, getting out there, because we were out there doing shows, meeting people. We didn't quite follow up with people a lot because, like Anna said, it's kind of hard. But I have a friend in another band, my friend Steven's in the Human Extinction, and he has a huge online presence and they haven't even played a show yet. So I'm just like, oh man, we need to do something about this. So yeah, definitely networking and online presence, and then also playing shows. I think all those together would really help anybody who's trying to get out there.
Definitely. I think nowadays is with the online presence, now that everything is through Zoom and remote, and obviously you can't be doing shows, and a lot of touring artists that aren't necessarily in the mainstream, but they're well known and they have been well established. They kind of came to like a dead end, and everybody had to get a little creative, and they're like, okay, well then we're gonna sell tickets for you to watch us online play a live show. So it helps them because they have a following, they have the presence, they have,
Mm-hmm.
But as an independent artist, you kind of just say, hey, I'm gonna be live streaming this, here's a link, please share. So yeah, that's definitely something that as an independent artist you really have to work on.
And there you have it. That was Atomafox and their experience as independent musicians. Now, let's have them play us out with their newest song, Fort Frolic.